Good morning. Listen, this is TEDx, so when someone on stage, exposing themselves as I am, says good morning, we need better response. So one more time, good morning. This is TEDx. This is TEDx at Oakland University. My name is up there because when I was growing up, and I grew up in Detroit, before Detroit was cool. Before Detroit was hip, I grew up in Detroit. And when I grew up, there was no diagnosis for ADHD or attention deficit disorder or hyperactive disorder. Kids like me were just labeled bad kid. You laugh. Those of you who were around at that time know there was no ADHD. We were just considered to be incorrigible. So forgive me if I can't stand here for 1 second and look at my name up there and think that I've come a very long way from that bad kid in Detroit. So when I was growing up, there was a television show called All in the Family. There's no way that All in the Family could ever be on TV again. But I'm going to take us back to a segment in All in the Family because we're going to talk about my love of juries. And I am not alone.
Thank you.
So tell me what happened.
Oh, Glory, it was an experience. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Where do I hang up my coat and I'll tell you all about it.
How'd it go?
Oh, Mike, it was so exciting.
Tell us about
Oh,
it.
wait till your father finds out. I kept pinching myself the whole time I was there to make sure I wasn't watching some movie. Imagine me, Edith Bunker, a member of the jury. Even now, I feel those goosebumps. Oh, funny, they was there a minute ago.
Wish we could have been there.
Not many people have the Edith Bunker mentality when they get noticed for jury duty, do they? They get their jury summons and they gnash their teeth and they complain. There are country songs complaining getting your jury notice for jury duty that it's akin to like losing your job or your wife leaving you or having 2 huge pimples before prom. That is actually a country song that discusses jury duty. The number of people that attempt to avoid jury duty is extraordinary. If you Google search it, you'll find 9.6 million hits on how to get out of jury duty. There are WikiHows. There are top 10 lists. There are YouTube videos. There are scams. There are people who suggest that you should go to court and act like a crack addict and have some white stuff on your nose and sniffle the whole time. There are folks who, one guy actually went to jury duty and he showed up in an orange, you know, the TV show Orange is the New Black. He showed up in an orange jail jumpsuit. He was excused. Another woman showed up, and she showed up in a Star Trek outfit. I kid you not, full Star Trek, you know, the beam me up, Scotty. She had the badge and all the stuff on, and she actually did not get excused for jury duty. She was on a jury. One woman, when asked by a lawyer, have you had any experience with lawyers, she actually said, yeah, you picked me up in a bar 5 days ago. She was excused. One guy said, or one woman showed up one time in an outfit with curlers in her hair and cream on her face with the thing on a shirt that said something like, I speak to the dead. And she ended up getting excused, but then she heard a radio show in which they talked about how to get out of jury duty, and she called in and she told the radio show about the ruse she had pulled. She got charged with perjury. And for all the schemes and the ruses about how to get out of jury duty, all of those people, and maybe some of us, are missing out. Jury duty, jury service is an extraordinary opportunity to make a huge difference a huge impact in one individual person's life. It is an opportunity to stick up for the underdog. That's why I love juries. I'm the grandson of 2 Holocaust survivors. Most of my family, my grandmother's family, died in the Holocaust. There were no juries to protect us and our family back then. When I was in Detroit and I was picked on, there were no juries to help me resolve my conflicts. There were no juries to help me resolve my conflicts with my sisters. I usually lost those fights with my parents. As I got older, I realized that I had a connection to the underdog. I was even a prosecutor for 4 years. Jerry Spence once told me that he forgave me because he too has sinned, he said. And so, as a prosecutor, I began to identify with the underdog. And I realized that you cannot, in the legal system, protect the underdog without juries. And that means that I can't protect the underdog without you. The number of people in this room, I will tell you that if you were my friend, I would expect if you got a jury notice that you would probably call me and say, Neil, how do I get out of jury service? And I have to then gnash my teeth and want to encourage you to serve. We need intelligent, smart, compassionate, caring people who are willing to actually take their time and to actually contribute. And if you think about what you have the capacity to do on a jury, I know it's an inconvenience, but you have the ability to do something just. That is daily democracy. When you vote, and you'll vote this year, you'll vote in 2016, your vote will be one of 5,000, one of 10,000, one of 20,000, one of 50 million, and that's representative democracy. You have to hope that people go to Washington or Lansing and do what you want. Good luck with that. But jury duty is daily democracy. Where else in our society, in fact, where else in the world do we entrust average, ordinary citizens with coming down and being able to make extraordinary decisions, giving them huge power to decide issues that are important to the people who are in front of them? And you have real power when you're on a jury. What kind of power do you have? We stand for you when you walk into court because you are the law. Not the judge, not the lawyers, not the police. You are the law. Where else in society can the CEO of a corporation have the exact same power as a garbage man? When you're on a jury, you are one of 6 or one of 12, and you have the exact same power. Where else in society do we actually see that sort of one-for-one ability to make a difference in someone's life, and in my experience, to protect the underdog? You have the ability as a juror to hold the government at bay. You have the ability to do what Thomas Jefferson said, which is he considers trial by jury as the only anchor yet imagined by man by which a government can be held to the principles of its constitution. You have the final vote. You get to decide and do what is just. You volunteer for charities. You come to TEDx because you want to learn something. You want to make a difference. When you get your jury notice, show up for jury duty. We need people like you. If we don't have people like you in jury duty, then you know what happens? And all I meet are the same types of jurors that black men in the South had to face in cases back in the early 1900s. All white men, all sitting there with their arms crossed, just waiting to issue a verdict. There's a cartoon about Michael Vick after Michael Vick was charged with cruelty to animals. And on the jury were just a bunch of cartoon dogs. No cats. Just dogs. And the image was, boy, where is Michael Vick going to find a fair jury to decide his case? That's why we need a composite of the community. We need men, women, old, young, black, white, Asian, Jew, Christian, atheist. We need everybody. You have the ability to make a difference in ways when you get that jury notice, unlike any other opportunity. When you volunteer for a charity, you're hoping to improve the community. When you volunteer for jury duty and you show up, you're volunteering to actually make a difference in one person's life. Felony or not felony, prison or not, awarded money against an insurance company or not. In no other place will I suggest to you in life are you going to have that kind of power. And I have found in my experience that when jurors, at the end of their experience, they come up to me, some email me, some call me and tell me, you know what? The experience was amazing. And you have the ability to do something just. In the 1900s, in the 19th century, there was a federal law called the Fugitive Slave Act. I don't know if you know this or not, but it was illegal for northern citizens to actually assist fugitive slaves. And the northern citizens were prosecuted, and the slaves were prosecuted, and they were taken before juries. And the jury listened and sat there, and they said, yeah, government, we know what you say he did. He helped out a slave. I get it. And we know what the law says, that he can't do that. But finding that man guilty would be unjust. And they acquit. Back when I was a prosecutor, I participated in the prosecution of Jack Kevorkian, who was the assisted suicide doctor, or Dr. Death. And back in the day, we created a law to stop Dr. Death. We actually had a law to stop one man. It was called the Law Against Assisted Suicide. There was one guy doing it. We created a law that was designed to stop this one guy, and we put him on trial. Not one of my more proud moments, but we tried Dr. Kevorkian. And the jury looked and they said, yeah, we know what the law says, Rockind. Prosecutors, we know. And we know what it is that you say he did. But it wouldn't be just to convict him. You can clap. Now, in parts of the country, there are juries and jurisdictions where people are still being prosecuted for marijuana cultivation, marijuana growth, marijuana use, marijuana possession. And there are juries who get those cases and they say, yeah, we know what the law says. And we know what you say he did. But we're not going to convict somebody in a marijuana case. You should be clapping at that one. And there are cases that touch all of our hearts where you see women who've been abused for years and years and years. And they finally fight back against their husband, and something happens, and the husband ends up being killed. And sometimes those defenses are very questionable. But when you hear from the woman, the jury has the ability to look and say, yeah, I know what it is that you say that she did. She killed that man. And I know what the law says, that she can't do it. But the juries find those women not guilty. That's the power you have as a juror. You have the ability to do something just. You have the ability to actually sit and listen. And guess what? The crown can't complain. I know we don't have kings and queens here, but the crown can't complain. In other countries where we don't have the benefit of our system of laws, or where they don't have the benefit of our system of laws, a jury verdict isn't final. In our country, what you as a potential juror says is final. The crown cannot complain. So what I tell you is this. We need more Edith Bunkers. We do. We need you. I need more Edith Bunkers as a defense lawyer. I need people that want to be there, that want to be just, that want to be fair. I need more people that are willing to step up, be counted, and to do what's just. I need people to help me on juries protect the underdog. And that means I need you good, intelligent, thoughtful, caring people to show up. I thank you for your time. I really do. God bless America.
Ladies and